The film you're about to see was made in Thorne and Mooends, 2 former coal mining towns in South Yorkshire. Young people have made the film as part of the Waterstart Project activities, and it highlights the different social perceptions of the area, from young people now living in a deprived community, and older people who enjoyed industrial prosperity. In the days of coal mining, the town prospered, people enjoyed identity through their work, and the community spirit was strong. The town centre was full of busy independent shops, and the cottages were well maintained. The effects of this decline has led to high unemployment, lack of facilities, and low community esteem. Following the pit strikes in the 1980s, the coal mining industry ceased in Thorne and Mooends, causing sudden mass unemployment. The town fell into serious decline, the pit gates were locked, the winding gear stopped turning, shops closed, and buildings fell into disrepair. This had a serious negative social impact in the community.
I think Thorne is a heavily deprived area with not much to do.
I think Thorne is a town which might have had a lot of potential in the past, but it's really faded away and there's very little here now. And especially for young people, because basically there's a few pubs and that's about it. And really, young people plus alcohol, it's a bit of a volatile mix.
Well, it's not really good really, because there's like all riff-raff and people fighting all the time and drunken people on the streets and that.
Section 30 is a thing what Danny Council have done, like in Thorne Town Centre, Stainforth and Mooends and a couple other places like that. If you're in more groups than 2 or more, the police will just come up to you and say, can you please leave this area? If you get caught again in that night or in 24 hours, you get 19 cells and probably get something death like Asbo.
Kids had to be in by a certain amount of time, that they couldn't congregate en masse, and essentially I think it was there to try and underpin the kids to not be together, not to cause trouble, not to have antisocial behaviour, things like that. That's my understanding of Section 30 anyway.
Well, I think the youngsters are in a world of their own, and I think we're sort of, I mean, they're all computer mad and games mad, and you know, it's just a different world.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I am definitely very wary of a group of youths. Yes, yes.
Essentially. I don't necessarily agree with the recent media turn where it's hoodie culture, where every group of kids is basically going to be a problem to anyone who's out of their age group. I think generally it's gone through that the press have kind of like demonised any group of kids hanging out together. It could be totally innocent, but then again, what I think's come through is there are elements which are antisocial, and they've kind of picked up on that.
They're very quick to judge despite not knowing anything, really. And stereotypes and stuff, it's depressing.
Just like bring centres and different activities what different people like, and just like get them to go there and all that kind of things.
Really, I think they need more like artistic, creative outlets, like art classes, music, drama groups, that sort of stuff.
Just with like, because a lot of young people what you speak to, they'll say, "Oh, why are you always hanging around doing stuff?" They'll say like, "Oh, because we ain't got nothing to do." So you got to try and like give them something to do, what they're gonna enjoy, and get something out of it.
Make more things for kids to do, because keep them off streets.
Like trips to like bowling or ice skating or something like that, and that should be, it might take the things off people from fighting and graffitiing and all that, so that'll be much better for kids.
Education. Further, it's never too late. And education is something that's stored all the time, and you never know when it's going to be useful to you.
Just like give them opportunities to do like worthwhile things.
Basically, I think there should be more things like youth centres and maybe other activities for young people.
If there were more centres to do things and put kids in and get them out of trouble.
Well, in my day, the word bored didn't enter into the conversation. Now everybody is bored from being 3 years old upwards. We never had time to be bored, and if they fill their lives with useful things, you know, perhaps going and cutting an old lady's hedge, or offering to cut somebody's grass, or maybe doing a little shopping.
The old generation today were the people that fought in the war and everything. I mean, I don't think the kids see them as necessarily the old people were the youth of a generation ago. So I think you'd have to break down those sort of barriers and spend more time together, essentially work on initiatives where the young and the old could work together.
The film is about the opinions of different generations and how they have lived and enjoyed this town. Waterstart, part of the Sobriety Project, a charity, has worked hard at combating the problems since the closure of the pits. Waterstart has a canal boat and offices that are funded by the Coalfields Regeneration Trust to help unemployed young people and displaced workers back into purposeful activities and progression routes to employment. The project uses the waterways and boat as resources for learning and personal regeneration for disadvantaged groups throughout South Yorkshire, which has been economically affected by the closure of the coal mining industry.